Mr. Leong Manwai and Ms. Hazel Poa of the Progress Singapore Party have accepted 2 seats in Parliament as non-constituency MPs as the so-called best losers of general election.
Both were part of the PSP team in West Coast GRC that narrowly lost to the People's Action Party team led by Communications and Information Minister S. Iswaran. Now, during a press conference this afternoon, Mr. Leong and Ms. Poa said despite their personal reservations early on about the NCMP scheme, the election results show that there is an appetite for alternative voices in Parliament.
In this election, even though we did not win the election in West Coast GRC, but still we managed to get 48% of the votes, which is still a significant number. And so I feel that this is an opportunity for us to bring their voices into Parliament.
We will demonstrate to the Singaporean voters that a strong alternative voice is very good for the country. Yeah, that's what we want to set out to do immediately. Yeah.
Party Chief Dr. Tan Cheng Bock added that they look forward to working with the opposition Workers' Party in Parliament.
Also, historically, I have been quite close to Pritam Sylvia. We have always been very good friends. And in fact, we share many common things, ideas, policies also. So it's good. We are now going like a team now. The whole Workers' Party, they take the lead. We will help them, and they will also give us, I'm sure, information.
To take this discussion further, we're joined by one of the editors leading the Straits Times GE coverage, Jeremy Au Yong. Welcome back, Jeremy. Now, perhaps some would have wanted the man we just saw, PSP Chief Dr. Tan Cheng Bock, in one of the NCMP seats. So what is your opinion of Mr. Leong and Ms. Poa?
Well, Olivia, first off, I think there was never any hope that Dr. Tan would actually take up one of those NCMP seats. He had made it very clear during the hustings, during the campaign, that if the party were to get it, as it has, that he would not be one of them. I think he has argued that since he has been an MP for so long, he was MP in Ayer Rajah SMC for 26 years, that, you know, taking on that seat would be, okay, he didn't say this out loud, but I got the sense that he would see it as almost a step down. After having been MP, now he re-enters the House as NCMP. The other thing that I guess he was thinking about when the PSP chose its 2 NCMP candidates, which ended up to be the Vice Sec Gen Leong Manwai and the Vice Chairman Hazel Poa, was renewal. And Dr. Tan talked a lot about renewal, even throughout his campaign and after the campaign. After all, he was the oldest candidate running in the election. He's 80 years old. A lot of people are wondering if at 85 he will show up at the next election. So the longevity of the party depends very much on renewal. And Parliament could serve as quite an important platform for renewal. And so even before they made the announcement today, I think a lot of people expected that these would be the 2 that they would choose for the NCMP scheme, mainly because they were already seen as the likely next generation of the party. Mr. Leong is 60, Ms. Poa is 49, I believe. Both have quite good CVs. They were both former PST scholars and both had some success in the professional world. I believe Mr. Leong was former managing director of OCBC Securities. Ms. Poa, I think, has this private school chain, private tuition chain. And she is also, Ms. Poa has a little bit more experience in politics than Mr. Leong. She started off with Reform Party. She was chief of NSP for a while before ending up in PSP.
Right. Jeremy, both Mr. Leong and Ms. Poa have criticized the NCMP scheme. What do you think they'll bring to Parliament?
Well, on the criticism of the NCMP scheme, I think, you know, I'm not that young. I've gone through a few elections. It's a dance that we go through nearly every election. There's a criticism of the NCMP scheme during the campaign, and no matter what the criticism is, no matter who is offered the seat at the end, they end up taking it, or the party ends up taking it. Because, if we strip away the politics of it, so in the hustings, you will hear arguments at the extremes. On one side, you will hear that the NCMP scheme is completely equal to an MP. It's not exactly the same. On the other side, you'll hear criticisms of the NCMP scheme as a means of impeding the progress of the opposition. Also not quite true. I mean, if it was very bad for the opposition, they wouldn't take it up. Yet after every election, the opposition has taken up the NCMP scheme. So that as far as it goes for the criticism of the NCMP, what they will bring to Parliament, I think, remains to be seen. So far, the various NCMPs have done decently well in debates over the years, and I guess we'll have to see. This is a new party with people who have never gone to Parliament before. We'll see how they perform.
Speaking of course, a few of the newly elected MPs are also, newcomers, first-timers. So with WP already having 10 elected seats, Dr. Tan said there will be collaboration between PSP and WP in providing an opposition's voice in Parliament. How effective will they be, do you think?
Wow, this is again another thing where the answer is it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen principally because this is uncharted territory. We've had more than one opposition party in Parliament before. We've had SDP and WP, or WP and SPP, like Mr. Chiam and Mr. Loh Tia Kiang were in Parliament together for a long time. But we've never really seen that much cooperation between two different opposition parties in Parliament. And there wasn't even that much impetus to do so. This time is different. Because there's a formally appointed title, the WP's Secretary General, Pritam Singh, will be given the title Leader of the Opposition. That seems to signal to me that there does need to be some collaboration between WP, the 10 WP MPs, and then the 2 PSP and NCMPs. It hasn't happened before, so I guess I'm just like everybody else. I'm waiting to see how that will work out.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. Always a pleasure to speak with you. We were speaking to Jeremy Au Yong, who's part of the GE team here at the Straits Times.